To keep yourself updated, subscribe to Indigo Learn and click the bell icon and download our app OneFin to start learning on the go.
Hello, my dear students. Welcome to Indigo Learn. Friends, Shiva Teja here is back again with an interesting video. Especially this video is particularly to talk about our RTP for May 2023 exam. So let me tell you one interesting point before I proceed and talk further in this particular video, my dear students. That is, you guys know very clearly that there have been some good number of amendments which are applicable for May 23 exam and November 23 exam. And for that reason, we have specifically recorded the video of all the amendments and shared it on our YouTube channel. And along with that, we have also done amendments to the videos at all the respective places. And for the sake of convenience, apart from adding the amendments at the respective places, we created one separate video of all the amendments and posted on our Indigo Learn YouTube channel, which is easily accessible, from where you can comfortably go through all the interesting amendments which have come up, because there is always a high possibility that good number of questions will keep coming from the amendments. Especially in May attempt, we get to see a lot of amendments coming into the picture, because this time there are a huge number of amendments specifically from the perspective of May 23 examination. So without any delay, my dear friends, let's proceed and look into our RTP of May 2023 and also understand what are the interesting points covered in this particular RTP. So before I proceed, my dear friends, first and fundamental foremost point, which we all know very clearly, that is, whenever we talk about our question paper pattern, first question will always be a case study based MCQ, where they'll give a situation, they'll give a circumstance, and they clearly give some 4 or 5 questions related to that situation. So while reading that case study only, it is important that you understand that case study very clearly. And we all know that 30% weightage of the marks is given to MCQs, be it direct tax or be it indirect taxes, 30% weightage is given to MCQs. And my dear friends, this 40 marks of indirect taxes is actually a very scoring area, because as a CS student, as a professional student, we all know very clearly that every mark will make a huge difference in our final result, because there have been umpteen number of cases where students have got 59. Correct, my dear friends? That 1 mark will make a difference in exemption. So I'm sure you guys have multiple examples with you where that 1 mark has made a huge difference in achieving the scores. So every mark will make a difference. And let me honestly tell you that this 40 marks part of your indirect taxes is actually very scoring and very important for you to get your marks. I'm sure we are clear with that. So without any second thought and delay, my dear friends, let's proceed to talk about the interesting elements in our RTP of May 2023 examination. Let's start. The first question. Manavta Trust is a charitable trust registered under Section 12AB of Income Tax Act. Very good. The trust is well known for its educational, charitable, and religious activities. Next, what did they give? Come on. Trust became, what, my dear friends? Liable for registration under GST in the current financial year, since it exceeded the threshold limit. And what is the threshold limit? We all know that threshold limit will be 10 lakhs or 20 lakhs or 40 lakhs, as the case may be. General limit is 20 lakh, but for special state, the limit is 10 lakh, and with exclusively in goods, the limit is 40 lakhs. And special state means what we all know: Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura. Correct, guys? See now. In the month of June, a multinational company, Dhruv Tara Limited, gifted 500 laptops worth 50 lakh to the trust free of cost for their charitable purpose. Wow. Without any intention of seeking any business promotion for the same. So if any activity is done out of gratitude without any intention of seeking any business promotion, my dear friends, let me tell you, that transaction is not regarded as supply. Because let me give a classic example that, let's say Shiva Teja has gone to a temple and donated some money in a temple, and I didn't tell them, write my name, or I never gave them directions to them, you display my name everywhere so that I'll get some promotion and all. So if I just went and donated to a temple, that activity is out of gratitude, and it's an act of gratuitous donation. And that act of gratitude in nature shall not be regarded as supply. Next. Manavta Trust distributed these laptops for free in the same month to the needy students for facilitating them in higher studies. Very good. They have given to whom, my dear friends? Come on, friends, they have given to whom? They have given to needy students, and that too they gave it for free of cost. Once it is free of cost, that is also not regarded as supply, because there is no consideration. It is not a supply. Correct, friends? And one more part, I'm sure we all know that Schedule 1 talks about something called transactions regarded as supply, even though there is no consideration. That story will come into picture only in case where certain specific transactions are regarded as supply, even though there is no consideration. If not, if there is no consideration, then it is not regarded as supply. See next point. Manavta Trust owns a higher secondary school. Very good. Manavta Higher Secondary School in Gujarat. In the month of July, so what is that they have, my dear friends? They have a higher secondary school, Manavta Higher Secondary School in Gujarat. And in the month of July, Trust availed security personal services from Perfect Security Solutions, Gujarat, a proprietary concern for security of the school premises for a consideration of 2 lakhs. Very good. But that is taken for what school, my dear friends? Preschool and education up to higher secondary school or equivalent. We know that we have got some exemption for this. Next. It also received a legal consultancy service from Maya and Co., a firm of advocates, for the issues related to the said school for 1,20,000. Legal service, we know that it is covered under RCM, but that too, RCM will come into picture when legal service is given only to a business entity. If it is not to a business entity, then it is not covered under RCM. Next point. Manavta Trust furnished the following information regarding expense incurred by it in the month of August. And all the transactions are being what, my dear friends? Interstate. Service received and used for supplying taxable outward supply, 3,50,000. Once it is taxable outward supply, we can definitely take input tax credit. No problem. Next. Catering service received for students of Manavta Higher Secondary School. Let me tell you, that service is exempt. And once that service is exempt, my dear friends, what will happen? Once the service is exempt, there is no question of input tax credits. Are we getting clarity, everybody? Next point. Buses purchased with a seating capacity of 25%, including driver, 10,50,000. Buses were delivered in the first week of September. When it is delivered in September, my dear friends, you please take credit in September only. But you can't take credit in the month of August. Because we all know one precondition to claim the credit, that is goods or services must be received. If they are not received, then you cannot claim input tax credit. Next point. Manavta Trust provided the following information in respect of services provided by it for the month of August. See now, it runs an old age home for senior citizens, very good, 60 and above. Nominal monthly charge of 15,000 for boarding, lodging, maintenance are charged from each member. And total number of members is 20 members. Let me tell you, my dear friends, this particular service is covered under exemption list. That is, service run by an old age home by a charitable trust, services of old age home by charitable trust. That service is exempt if the consideration charged does not exceed 25,000. Taxability will come only if it is 25,000 or more. So this, since it is 15,000, it will become exempt. So 15,000 into 20, that is 3 lakhs will become exempt. Next point. It rents out a community hall. Wow. Community hall situated within the precincts of a temple, managed by it on 15th August for religious function in the first half, and for 5,000 for an art exhibition in the second half for 6,000. What a crazy point, man. Let me tell you honestly, this transaction is definitely taxable. I'm sure you recollect the point that in case of renting of a hall, community hall, or any kind of a hall within the temple premises, example we spoke so many times, Tirupati temple and all. Correct, my dear friends? So if it is given on rent, open area, Kalyan Mandapam on rent, it is taxable if it is 10,000 or more. And in this case, it is 6 plus 5, 11,000. So it will definitely become taxable. Next point. It rents out the rooms in the presence of a said temple to the devotees for a rent of 950 per room per day. This will also be exempt. The reason being, taxability is only when the room rent per day is 1,000 or more. If it is less than 1,000, it will straight away become exempt. And the total rent collected in August amounts to 35,000. This will be exempt. Next point you see. All the figures given above are exclusive of taxes wherever applicable. And aggregate turnover of Manavta Trust for the preceding financial year was what, my dear friends? 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs means what? They are not liable for registration during preceding financial year. Correct, my dear friends? Now see. All the conditions necessary for availment of ITC are fulfilled, subject to information given above. And Manavta Trust intends to avail exemption from GST wherever applicable, obviously. See now. Based on information given above, choose the most appropriate answer to the following question. First one, which of the following activities of Manavta Trust does not amount to supply? Wow, they're asking which is not a supply. First bit, free laptops distributed to the needy students. My dear friends, this transaction is definitely not a supply because it is given as free of cost. Then boarding, lodging, maintenance of senior citizens by old age home run by the trust, that is a supply, but it is exempt supply because it is not 25,000 or more. Renting of community hall, that is also supply, and moreover in this particular case it is taxable because the rent is 10,000 or more. Next, renting of rooms, that is also a supply, but in this case it is exempt because it is only 950 per day. So answer is option A, my dear friends, because they didn't ask what is taxable, what is exempt. They only asked which one is not a supply. Next, compute the value of inward supplies on which tax is payable by Manavta Trust under reverse charge. In this particular question, my dear friends, reverse charge will not come into picture. I'll tell you why. The reason being, number one, security service. We will not apply RCM. Security service, we are not going to apply the concept of RCM. The reason being that service is an exempt service. I'm sure we got that point, my dear friends. So security service will clearly be exempt. The reason being it is given to that education institution which is providing service up to senior secondary school. That service will be exempt. So preschool education up to higher secondary school are equivalent to them. If security service is given, that will be exempt. And moreover, in case of legal service, my dear friends, that service also will actually be exempt. The reason being, legal service is given to a business entity, it is covered under RCM. But the problem here is, if legal service is given to a business entity whose turnover during preceding financial year does not exceed threshold limit, then that service is also exempt. And we have seen in the question very clearly that turnover during preceding financial year does not exceed threshold limit. So the legal service will become exempt. And once it is exempt, there is no question of RCM. So in this particular question, there is no tax which is payable under RCM. So answer is option D, my dear friends, nil, because there is no tax which is required to be paid under a reverse charge mechanism. Third point, compute the value of exempt supply made by Manavta Trust for the month of August. Already we calculated this, sir. Already we calculated this 3 lakh service is exempt. Correct, no? And this 35,000 service is also exempt. So what is exempt is 3,35,000. Answer is option C. And what is taxable value of supply? Out of the whole thing, we discussed that only one thing is taxable. That is this 6,000 plus 5,000, 11,000. And that is taxable because total is 10,000 or more. Renting of open area Kalyan Mandapams for a single day where the rent is 10,000 or more. That will definitely become taxable. I'm sure we are getting a clarity on this point, everybody. Excellent, guys. Come on, next. Last point. Determine the amount of ITC that can be claimed credited to the credit ledger in the month of August. So the month of August, what is that input he had? Buses will claim in September. Catering service, no ITC because it's exempt. What is the balance left out? Used for supplying tax out of supply 3,50,000. On this, whatever GST we paid, that I'll claim it as ITC. And what is the rate of GST? Assume rate of GST to be 18%. So 3,50,000 into 18% will work out to 63,000 rupees. What is the value, my dear friends? 63,000 is the input tax credit. What I can claim? 3,50,000 into 18%. So answer is option B, my dear friends. Getting clarity, everybody? Come on, guys, please reply. What is the answer? Answer is option B. I hope we are clear with this point, all of us. So friends, like this, one question will definitely come in the exam where they will ask a case study based MCQ. Now, case study based MCQ is not something totally different or something new. It is just that some situation or circumstance is given, and based on that situation or circumstance, we are required to answer the questions. And that they'll combine 2-3 multiple concepts and give a question in the exam. Getting clarity? Yeah. Next question number 6. Prithviraj, registered under GST, is engaged in what, my dear friends? Supplying services, as discussed in table below, in the state of Maharashtra. He has furnished the following information with respect to services provided or received by him during the month of February. Now, what is that? We have to find out. Rate of CGST, SGST, IGST 9, 9, 18. Very good. All inward and outward are exclusive of taxes. Very good. All the necessary conditions to avail ITC have been fulfilled. Fantastic. What is that you want? Turnover of Prithviraj was 2.5 crore in the previous financial year. Even more fantastic. Compute net GST payable in cash by Prithviraj for the month of February. Now, what you have to pay in cash? Simple answer. We'll take output tax, reduce input tax credit, balance we have to pay in cash. And moreover, if any tax is required to be paid under reverse charge mechanism, that also we have to pay using electronic cash ledger only. I'm sure we all know this point, that a tax required to be paid under reverse charge mechanism should be paid using electronic cash ledger only. See now. First point. Carnatic music performance given by Mr. Prithviraj to promote a brand of ready-made garments, 1,40,000. So what? Still it definitely become taxable. The reason being very clear that exemption will come in case of services performed in a performing arts, classical art forms of music, dance or theatre is exempt if the consideration does not exceed 1,50,000. However, if service is given as a brand ambassador, it will definitely become taxable even if the consideration does not exceed 1,50,000. In this particular case, it did not cross 1,50,000. Still, it is taxable. The fundamental reason being service is given as a brand ambassador. Next point. Outdoor catering services availed. That means what? We have taken the service for a marketing event organized for his prospective customers, intrastate 50,000, and we know that whatever GST we pay on this, that we can't claim input tax credit. The reason being this credit is blocked under section 17(5) clause B. I'm sure we all know this point already, my dear friends. Everybody, yes or no, my dear friends? Come on, please speak out. Outdoor catering service, whatever GST we pay, we can't claim it as input tax credit. Next. Service of what, my dear friends? Transportation of what? Students provided to Subhaskar College, providing education as a part of curriculum for obtaining recognized qualification. This service, my dear friends, let me tell you, will become taxable because service of transportation of students, faculty and staff is exempt only when it is given to a preschool or education up to higher secondary school or equivalent. I repeat again, exemption is only when it is given to a preschool or education of higher secondary school or equivalent. In this particular case, it is not a preschool, it is not education of higher secondary school or equivalent, it is given to a college. So this will definitely become taxable. Next. Legal service availed for official purpose from an advocate located in Gujarat. This we will definitely tax under RCM, and once it is taxable under RCM, we have to make the payment only using electronic, what, my dear friends, cash ledger. Because I'm sure we all know that any tax payable under RCM should be paid only using what, my dear friends, electronic cash ledger. Friends, correct or not? Come on, everybody, please reply. Excellent. Next point. Service provided to Wealth Bank as a business correspondent with respect to accounts in a branch of a bank located in urban area. This is also taxable because service provided as a business correspondent is exempt if it is related to the accounts in a rural area. If it is a branch located in rural area, that service will be exempt. But if the branch is located in, my dear friends, urban area, that service will definitely become taxable, guys. I hope you are getting clarity, everyone. Good. Next. Recovery agent services provided to a car dealer. This is also taxable. Now, don't tell your brain that, sir, why is it taxable? RCM should come into picture. No, sir. Answer is no. RCM will come into picture only when service is given by recovery agent to a bank. RCM will come only when service is given by recovery agent to whom, my dear friends? To a bank. Then only RCM will come into picture. Last point. General insurance service taken on a car, seating capacity 5, used for official purpose. Straight away, no input tax credit because it is blocked under section 17.5 clause A. We know the point, my dear friends. Speak out, friends. 17.5 clause A deals with the concept of car, and moreover, general insurance is specifically covered under 17.5 clause B. Friends, please reply. Come on. Everybody getting clarity on this point, my dear friends. So on car, we can't take input tax credit because 17.5 of clause A. And on insurance also, we can't take credit because 17.5 clause B. Whatever it is, ultimately both are covered in section 17 subsection 5, which clearly says that credit is blocked. Got sense, my dear friends? So using this methodology, we will calculate what is the output tax payable. We'll also calculate what is the input tax credit available and set off that credit and calculate the net tax payable using electronic cash ledger. Guys, I'm sure we got a clarity on this question, my dear friends. Ultimately, you have to understand that in case of car, credit is blocked because 17.5 clause A. And general insurance also we can't take credit because insurance, servicing, repair, maintenance, that credit is also blocked. In fact, to be even more specific, that is blocked by virtue of 17.5 clause AB. I'm sure you would have heard the point for sure, my dear friends. During our discussion also, we spoke about something called 17.5 clause AB, my dear friends. A is about motor vehicle, AA is about vessel and aircraft, AB is about insurance, repairs, maintenance. Ultimately, even though you don't write the clause number, if you still write section 17 subsection 5, you will get your full score. Do not worry about it. I hope you got a clarity of thought on this point, my dear friends. A very interesting question, sir. No doubt about it. The reason being very clear that there is a point related to RCM, there is a point related to output tax, there is a point related to input tax credit, there is a point related to block credits. And ultimately, it is also important to note that in case of transaction covered under RCM, that is, with respect to the point of legal service, we are required to pay tax under RCM, and that tax we will pay under RCM and again claim input tax credit. That also we have to be careful, very careful. Clear, friends? An interesting question, guys. Next question number 7, please see that. Determine whether GST is payable in each of the following independent transactions. Number 1, through developer sold a plot of land in Greater Noida after leveling, laying down of drainage lines. After leveling, laying down of drainage lines, water lines, electricity lines. My dear friends, I'm sure you guys remember something called Schedule 3, read with section 7.2a, which was dealing with the concept of transactions which are neither regarded as supply of goods nor regarded as supply of service. In that, there was always a point called sale of land and building except construction services. So it is a pure sale of land and it's a pure sale of constructed building after OC, then GST will not apply. We know this point, right? So in this particular context, my dear friends, they have given an interesting clarification by virtue of a circular in 2022, where they clearly clarified that plot, which is an open land, could be sold directly, or it may be after leveling or laying down of drainage lines, water lines, electricity lines. Still, it is still covered under Schedule 3. So it is neither regarded as supply of goods nor regarded as supply of services. Getting clarity, my dear friends? So GST will not apply. Next point. Deccan Shipping Company Private Limited registered under GST in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, provided passenger transportation service to local resident in the ferries. Ferry means what? It's something like a boat or vessel owned by it from Neil Island to Havelock Island. Let me tell you, my dear friends, this service is an exempt service. The service is what, my dear friends? Exempt service, where we discussed about some point called transportation of passengers in a vessel between places located in India, other than predominantly for tourism purpose, is exempt. You're getting my point, my dear friends? And it's not necessary that the transportation of passengers in a vessel should be given only by the government. It could also be private. So exemption point was clearly talking about the point known as what, my dear friends? Transportation of passenger service by virtue of vessel between places located in India is what, my dear friends? Exempt. I hope we are clear with this point, my dear friends. If it is predominantly for tourism purpose, it becomes taxable. But if public purpose, then it becomes exempt. And it's not necessary that the ferry or the boat or vessel should be owned by the government. It would also be private. Still, it is exempt. Getting clarity, everyone? Wonderful, guys. Next. Question number 8. Let's see that. Come on. State the person liable to pay GST in the following independent services provided. Number 1, Siddhi Builders, registered in Haryana, rented out 20 residential units owned by it in Sanskriti Society to Rudra Technologies, an IT-based firm registered in the state of Haryana for accommodation of its employees. This transaction is specifically covered under reverse charge mechanism, and who is liable to pay GST is Rudra Technologies. This I specifically also covered in the amendments video, where once upon a time the concept was very clear that if a residential building is given for residential purpose, it was exempt. If a residential was given for commercial, it was taxable. Commercial given for residential, it was taxable. Commercial for commercial was also taxable. So if a residential dwelling was given for use as residence, it was exempt. But last year they brought amendment in July 22 where they specified that service by way of renting of a residential dwelling to a registered person is covered under RCM. This particular case, RCM is coming only because recipient is a registered person, and that too it is a residential dwelling. Next point. Purohit Consultants, a partnership firm registered in Delhi as a regular taxpayer, paid sponsorship fees of 70,000 at a seminar organized by a private NGO, a partnership firm in Delhi. This transaction, my dear friends, that is also covered under RCM. The reason being sponsorship service. What service, my dear friends? Sponsorship service to body, corporate or firm. Sponsorship service to body, corporate or firm is specifically covered under reverse charge mechanism. In this particular question, my dear friends, who is the receiver is nothing but a Purohit Consultants, which is a partnership firm. So once the receiver is a body, corporate or firm, the transaction will be covered under RCM, and receiver is liable to pay GST. I hope we are getting clarity on this point, my dear friends. Excellent. What a lovely RTP, man. Question number 9. Let's see that, come on. Briefly enumerate the contraventions which make a registered person liable for cancellation of registration. Guys, what are all the cases where registration is cancelled? He is not conducting business from the place of business declared in the certificate of registration. He is supplying goods or service without issuance of invoice, or he has failed to furnish returns continuously for a period of 6 months for a monthly registered person. If he is paying tax on quarterly basis or filing return on quarterly basis, he has failed to furnish for a consecutive 2 quarters, or he has violated the concept of anti-profiteering mechanism, or he has not updated the bank account details after obtaining registration. So these are all the multiple cases and scenarios. Also, he has availed input tax credit in contravention of law. So in all these circumstances, my dear friends, a registered person registration is liable for cancellation. Finally, the last interesting question in this particular paper, my dear friends, state the order in which every taxable person discharges his tax and other dues under GST law as provided in section 49 of CGST Act. Whatever taxable person discharges, my dear friends, there is an order and the priority in which the amount is discharged. Number 1, self-assessed tax and other dues. Self-assessed tax and other dues related to returns of previous tax period. Second, self-assessed tax and other dues related to the returns of current tax period. Finally, any other demand or liability as per provisions of section 73 and 74. 73-74 is what you will learn in detail in CA final. Anyways, 73 is a cases where other than fraud, misstatement, suppression. 74 is a cases which talks about fraud, misstatement and suppression. So ultimately, what is the order to pay the amount, my dear friends? Discharge the dues. Number 1, self-assessed tax and other dues pertaining to the previous tax period. Number 2, self-assessed tax and other dues pertaining to the current tax period. Finally, any other amount or demand payable under section 73 or 74. So first finish off old dues, then pay current dues, then pay the balance demand or any other amount payable. So that is the order in which taxable person is required to discharge the dues. I'm sure we got a very good clarity of thought on this short, sweet and very nice RTP of May 2023, my dear friends. A very interesting RTP where we at Indigo Learn wanted to spend some time with you guys so that we get a good clarity of thought, and any doubt, that doubt is answered. So last but not the least, which I want to communicate to all our friends, that is, my dear friends, anytime, any doubt, any query you get, feel free to post on our forums. We'll be more than happy to reply your forum queries. We'll always be ready to reply to your queries. And my dear friends, again, I'm repeating for especially for May 23 exam students, guys, we already recorded the amendments, and amendments video is posted on Indigo Learn YouTube channel. Do watch out for sure. All the videos are already updated for May 23 and November 23 exam. For May 23 exam, November 23 exam, videos are all updated. But by any chance, if you would have purchased or taken our videos long ago and watched the old content and did not see the new content or entire videos again, you can watch out wonderfully the amendments. And my humble suggestion to all the students to watch out the amendments so that you will get some good score in the exam. So with this note, my dear friends, I wish you all the very best and wish you all success. Take care, all the very best. Do rock in the exam and come out with flying colors. Any doubt, Shiva Teja as well as Indigo Learn is always there for you for every subject at CA curriculum and all the finance related courses. So any doubts, feel free to post on the forum. We'll be more than happy to answer your query, guys. Thank you so much. Shiva Teja signing off. Take care. Bye-bye.